The left side of the brain decodes everything as apart from everything else. It decodes things into a sequence. That's what we get time from, basically. And the right side of the brain sees everything as unified. This is why when you're connecting the dots in the world of how the world's controlled and how reality and the suppression of our sense of reality comes into that, you've got to get into the right brain. Because if you don't, you can't see the dots connecting, because all your left brain can see is dots. So when people start to expand out of the left brain prison, which the system systematically tries to put us in, education, media, and all the rest of it, then you do start to perceive everyone as the same, because you're moving out of that sense of apartness of the left brain, and crucially the sense of hierarchy. So I'm a doctor, you know, I went to medical school and all that stuff, and you clean the toilets, oh really? But that's what the left brain, in its extreme, would look at that situation. But others would say, hey, we're all consciousness having an experience. And this is why this hierarchical, very fiercely hierarchical structure of power we have in the world is a reflection, once again, of our state of perception, or a state of unconsciousness. As this awakening unlocks us from the left brain and we move into a much greater, more expanded consciousness, that rigid hierarchy is going to disappear from society, because we're basically going to conscientize, for a word, conscientize it out of existence. It's a manifestation of our ignorance, our sense of apartness. That's what hierarchy is. And it's coming down, which is great news, Mr. Rothschild, isn't it? Hey, looking forward to it. I should. You could be one with the rest of us then.
Yeah. We see the system as maybe mission control, trying to keep us in a very suppressed state. So what I'm seeing is, especially through people who are asking for help through therapy, they're coming with extremely altered nervous systems, being attacked from all levels, their health, their physical health, their mental health, even on spiritual levels. How do you see mission control out there manipulating our physical health?
Well, the whole of this reality, including the physical body, is, as you well know, doing all the energy work you do. It's a vibrational information field. It's a vibrational information construct, you might say. And we see stress as something emotional, okay? But what it is at its prime form is stress is a distorted vibration. So as we feel stress, it sends a distorted vibrational resonance through the blueprint of the body's vibrational field, and it distorts it. And therefore, it manifests as eventually as physical, emotional, certainly, dis-ease, disharmony. And then we look at all the chemicals in food, and we see them in this holographic world as chemicals, but if you take them back to their base form, they're of distorted vibration. So when we take pharmaceutical drugs, what we're actually doing is taking a distorted vibrational field. Same with additives in food, aspartame and fluoride in the water. And so, and then of course, classically in terms of energy, we're living particularly in the cities and the towns, in these electromagnetic soups these days, where with all the wireless internet and microwaves and mobile phones. And so when you put that together, the body's vibrational information blueprint is being bombarded with disruptive, distorting vibrational fields of various expressions, and that's why there's so much mental, emotional, and physical illness in the world. And you know, a conscious world would not say, as politicians do, like in Britain, about the National Health Service. They say over the years, you hear it over and over again, we're treating more people than ever before. My question is, why? Why are you treating more people than ever before? Why are so many people ill and need treatment? Any conscious society says what causes dis-ease, disharmony, okay, we'll remove the cause. And then, staggeringly, the symptoms will disappear. And this is the kind of world we're going into as we become more conscious. And as you mentioned, the doctors break out of their, and scientists that could kind of interconnect with them, they break out of this straitjacket in the left brain where, when you look at it, you're born into the world, most people are born into left brain families. That's not a criticism. Most people in the world are left brain families. Why? Because that's what the system wants them to be and manipulates them to be.
The above, and by the way, this term, conspiracy theorist, conspiracy theory, which is now used as a term of debunking. Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. What's a conspiracy? What's the dictionary definition? It's two or more people conspiring to bring about an outcome. We're drowning in them on that basis. The question is, though, where did the widespread use of conspiracy theory and conspiracy theories come from?
Where?
It came from the CIA. Provable fact. During the 1960s, when people staggeringly, I mean, why would they, were questioning the fact that a magic bullet had gone through several people in Kennedy's car and ended up in him, were questioning the fact that his head went back as seen on the Zapruder film taken by an onlooker, and they blame a guy who's supposed to be behind him. Do they have bullets that do U-turns, do they? So people were questioning that increasingly. And the CIA put out a document, you can still, I published it in one of my books, to the major media in America, giving a list of things to use to discredit those that were questioning the Kennedy assassination. Of course, later Martin Luther King and the others of the 60s. And among them was, use the term conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorist, because what does that do? It gives the idea that it's only theory. Now, do conspiracy theories exist? Of course, because you say, well, looking at the evidence, I think this is probably what happened. That's a theory. But if people read my books, a couple of them, one of them's 1,000 pages, one of them's not much smaller. You see enormous amounts of interconnecting evidence, not least from insiders and whistleblowers and what have you. Because once you do what I do, people are attracted to you to get the information out. You see, it's not a theory. It's backed up by substantial fact, but you can destroy all of that in one word or one phrase. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Can I ask you? You're a young lad from a council estate in Leicester.
Yeah.
How and when did you start thinking the way that you do? Because you see the world, you do see the world in a different way.
Right.
I connect with that partly. I get that because I don't like following rules. I don't like to be told what to do. I like to find an alternative way. But you've taken it to a different level.
Yeah.
How did that happen to you?
Well, you don't have to go far outside the norm to be on a different level, frankly.